important aspect of design thinking is to sell the problem before selling the solution. Has it ever happened to you that you have prepared a presentation with all your heart and might, and the day you are making the presentation, on your very first slide, your presentation gets hijacked by a discussion which is completely irrelevant to your problem at hand? And if it has not happened to you, wait till it happens to you. And the reason why it has typically the case is because you have not made the problem important enough. Please understand, if the problem is not important, a solution can never be important, however much you work hard. And often hard work is the resort of the most unimaginative, which is to say that if you have nothing to do in your life, you do hard work. If you have something creative, you just don't do hard work. You do hard work plus something else. But at any rate, we need to understand that the problem has to be carved in a legitimate fashion. It has to have a lot of gravity to it before you start working at it. And who has to sell the problem? You have to sell the problem. So don't be busy selling the solution. First, sell the problem. Now, we have a wonderful technique from the stable of McKinsey and Company that talks about how do you sell a problem, and the technique at hand is called as SCQA. SCQA, which is a term coined by Barbara Minto from McKinsey. She also coined the term MISI, by the way, mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. So SCQA stands for situation. So you have to first of all start by narrating the situation. C is complication. Why does a situation warrant your attention now? Q is a central question, and A is the answer. So how does SCQA reads? So say the situation is, suppose I am trying to talk about an idea on how do you get more employees to work from office than to work from home. So what's the situation? In 2000, when the pandemic was hit, companies allowed a lot of employees to work from home, and they have continued to work from home ever since. That's the situation. Complication. Because employees are working from home, we are finding a lack of cultural integrity, lack of creativity, innovation and collaboration, and that employees are having a certain slack in their system, and we are not meeting the performance standard. That's the complication. Q is your question. So the central question that we are trying to answer today is that how do we get employees to come back to office without dampening their morale? A is the answer, and we can have two answers or maybe three answers. First, we can have a roster where employees of a certain team collectively decide certain days in a week where they must be at the office. Then another one is that we equip them with facilities like good food, crèche and other things, so that their resistance to leave home comes down. And third thing is, over a period of time, we incentivize those employees who are showing up more regularly. You see, it took me under 2 minutes to narrate the story to you. So that's a powerful technique of storytelling, which is also called as a business storytelling. And I think as a design thinker, you also need to be a very good storyteller. You need to be able to convey your message in the form of succinct stories, because after all, stories stick. Concepts don't have that chance. Which also means that you need to start visualizing your thinking. Another word for design thinking is visual thinking. If you have been to any design thinking workshop, and I have been privileged to conduct more than 600 workshops on design thinking alone with now close to 200 organizations, any of the workshops which I have ever been to on design thinking, it's very colorful. Instead of putting your idea in your head, you put it out in the open for others' scrutiny, and you try to use colors, sketch pens, stickies, doodles, play-dohs, Lego blocks and all these art and craft material to start expressing what you're thinking. So instead of thinking privately in the confines of your mind, you think more openly in the scrutiny of people around you. And if you give a choice to me or to somebody that there are three ways of ideation. One is to speak your idea, second is to write your idea, and third is to draw your idea. Which of the three would you think makes more sense? Speaking an idea, writing an idea, or drawing an idea? I bet speaking is cheap. Words are cheap anyways. When you write, still you have to put some more thought around it. But when you are sketching it, it requires a lot of detailing. And the more detailing you are embellishing on your idea, the more clarity you get in your head. And the more clarity people around you also get. And then they can collaborate and contribute. Because when you are speaking something, the only rebuttal people would have is argument. When you are writing something, people have to read it to comprehend it. But when you are sketching it, in the process of sketching it, you are getting more clarity yourself, you are able to express yourself, the idea is evolving along the journey, and also people around you are chipping in appropriately. So try to visualize your thinking. And what do you do if your ideas don't work? Which is okay. If the central tenet of Six Sigma and the whole quality revolution is to be right first time, the central tenet of design thinking is to be wrong first time. Wrong first time, wrong second time, wrong third time, and maybe right fourth time. And believe me, there has never ever been any innovation in the world which hasn't gone wrong initially. If you are trying to try something radically new, be rest assured that you would fail. And because in a society like India, failure is reprimanded, failure is stigmatized, people don't take a chance. They try to stick to the tried and tested. I was reading the biography of Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin, by the way, was the second man to step on the surface of moon after Neil Armstrong. And Buzz Aldrin was looking at Saturn. Saturn was a spacecraft that took the space shuttle Apollo 11 to moon. And Saturn had so many failures, as much as 40% was a failure rate. Fast forward to Elon Musk's SpaceX. The first mission, second mission, third mission failed. And Elon Musk barely had only that much resources to put the fourth reusable rocket on the launch pad. Thankfully, the fourth one succeeded. And he was pretty much willing to take the failures as a stride. So I think if you need to be a design thinker in the truest sense of the word, you need to be okay to fail. I'm absolutely fine to fail, but I'm not fine to not even try. Because fast forward to your deathbed, think for a moment, what would you have regret on? Things which you tried and you did not succeed, or things which you did not even try? I guess it's always the latter. You would be regretting about things you did not even try. And there are so many hints today available all around you where you can try and fail. Because whether you succeed or you fail, people's memory is anyway so small. Even if you succeeding wildly, day after tomorrow they'll forget you, which means if you fail wildly, day after tomorrow they'll forget you as well. But the problem is people will forget you. People will even forgive you. The bigger problem is you are not able to forgive yourself. You are often holding yourself to such a high self-esteem that others can fool themselves. But how can I do this? How can I fail? But I guess in this entire course, what I'm trying to advocate is that life is fleeting, memory is shallow. People are not thinking so much about you as much as about themselves. So fail. It's absolutely okay. Because anyways you'll die. I would rather have you learn in the journey of life than to be taught by somebody. And the best teacher is your own experience, which means fail often to succeed sooner. If I have 1 hour and $100 with me, I would try to pack that 1 hour and $100 with as many experiments as possible, so that I can maximize my learning per dollar, my learning per minute. And that's the currency of design thinking. So in the rapid iterative model, you try to send something to the customer says, no, it's not so good. You again come back and you try. You again come back and you try. And you're not the first one to be doing it. Nature does it all the time. Nature is following design thinking. And the way nature does evolve is through mutation. What is mutation? You and me are mutating as we are talking right now. Some of the mutation is fit with the environment, and that causes evolution. Some of the mutation is not fit with the environment, and that causes cancer. So all the time the body of any species for that matter is trying to check, am I fit with the nature, am I fit with the nature? And if I am fit, I survive. If I am misfit, I will perish. And 99.99% of all the species that have lived on the surface of earth have extinct. You know that? 99.99% of all the species are extinct already because they were not fit. And the reason you are fit and I am fit as a species, not as individuals, is because we are always evolving. In the last 2 million years of our existence, especially the last 80,000 years, since we had become more intelligent beings, we started making tools and art, is where we are evolving very rapidly. And in the last couple of decades or so, especially after the Dark Ages, which is after the 16th century, we evolved very rapidly. And the rapidity of evolution is only matched with so many of the failures which we have had along the way. So if you're not willing to fail, definitely you will never ever do anything grand in your life. Be rest assured about this. So I'll wrap this piece up by saying that you need to fail often to succeed sooner, and try to maximize the number of tryouts per dollar and per hour in your journey to be a design thinker. I hope this piece was very useful to you. As we delve deeper into the nitty-gritties of design thinking, we will also be having a project along the side. So we'll have a theory, alongside we'll have a project, and each theory and project would help you understand that how do you apply design thinking in the real world situation. And we'll try to take a project which is very much contextual to us here at IIM Bangalore, and hopefully that you can also relate to it. This is Dr. Soni here. Thank you so much.